Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the Moondrop Kato. Nice packaging with this one. We can see here's a chart of the tuning. And we got the specs. And I'm just going to pull the sleeve off. And we're looking at the box itself. Opens like this. Very nice indeed. Obviously I have the Kato, I've been using it. Really don't have any room. I have so much stuff on my desk right now. The cable would be in here. You get these tuning nozzles. You get this little pouch. You obviously get the little anime postcard and the manual. You get a nice carrying case which has the foam and the star tips in it of various sizes. And of course the unit itself with the case and the beautiful cable that it has. So I'm going to close that. And we're going to put this back the way it was. Okay, and that is the Kato. And I'm going to reach over to the side here where the Kato is. And we see the beautiful case that it has. And this cable, oh my goodness, this is a really nice cable. I really wish it had a swappable end. It would have been perfect. And of course the units themselves with their beautiful kind of angled diamond-esque kind of carvings on the back. The angled front there, solid as a rock. They have a nice weight to them. They're not very heavy in the ear, but they have a nice weight. These are final ear tips. For testing, we started with the spring tips, and then we tried the foam. And then after I was done, I said I want to try the final ones, just see if I can just even out that bass just a little bit. And I liked it. I do like it with the final ones on it. I would suggest them. So ultimately, really nice quality cable. We'll get into the specs on that in just a minute. I just wanted to show you what it looked like. I'll put that off to the side over there. Here's your case for the Moondrop. So if I was going to give this the build, we'll start with the build and everything. So comfort-wise for me, I don't find any problem with this. It's pretty standard of a shape. I know it's got all these little angles and everything else, but this shape is pretty standard. It's kind of used by a lot of like KB Air and stuff like that. It uses this shape. Oh yes, this one's got angles to it. It doesn't really impact the comfort, at least for me. Tuning nozzles inside, as you can see, there's brass. I chose the brass ones. I originally tested it with the silver ones, but then I ended up using the brass ones. They had a little bit more warmth, and I kind of like that overall. So build quality, superb. It's built like a tank. It does have enough weight to it, but without being like very ear heavy. And these are hefty hooks, so they'll support the weight, no problem. This is a really good cable. I know I've gotten some $300 IMs where the cable was just thin. It looked beautiful, but it wasn't built like this. This thing is built to last. If you treat this nice, this will last you a long time. So build-wise, 10 out of 10 for that. Isolation was very good. I would give that also a 10 out of 10. And comfort for me had to be like a 10 out of 10 as well. Just overall, just fit my ear just perfectly. No sharp edges either. So that said, we had good isolation, good build quality, excellent accessories. Just a real nice opening presentation to as you usually get with Moondrop. I think actually the presentation opening this one was just a little bit better than the much more expensive Blessing. I like this one overall better. The Blessing was more of a kind of like a safe tuning, had really good details, technicalities, but it was just kind of just safe tuning. And this one has a lot of energy as well as technicalities as well. So we'll be covering that in just a couple of seconds. I just wanted to get over like the build, isolation, and everything, and the accessories obviously that it came with. So very nice IM. Spoiler, I do like this one. So, like I put on my notes, solid, like a tank build quality, excellent accessories, a perfect amount of tips and nozzles and the case and everything. Would have liked the case to be a little bit bigger, though, considering the the size of this cable is it's a little bit on the thicker side. But this is a beautiful case, and it does fit it. If you roll it up just right and you fit it, it does fit in there. You can't fit any of the other accessories or anything in the case, just the IM and the cable. Sound-wise, let's get into the sound. And we usually start at the lower end, and we'll do that. We'll go to the lower end, the bass. Now, I need to get to my notes. Let's give you the specs first, before I even get into the bass. This uses a 10 millimeter ULT dynamic driver. That is a ultra linear technology dynamic driver. It's a third generation diamond-like carbon diaphragm from them. The impedance is 32 ohms. The sensitivity is 123 ohms, 123 decibels, excuse me. Frequency response is 10 to 45 kilohertz. The cable is a 4-core silver-plated OFC copper cable, and it is a 0.78 millimeter. And as we said, inside the box you're going to get the Kato IMs. You're going to get 3 pairs of Moondrop spring tips, small, medium, large. 3 pairs of foam tips, small, medium, large. 2 pairs of interchangeable nozzles for tuning, silver and brass. The beautiful cable, leatherette carrying pouch and a soft carrying pouch, and of course the postcard with the anime girl on it. And that rounds up the accessories. So it should be said that the sound on this is very natural, organic, and that's for the vocals, and that's also for the instrumentation as well. The instruments as well. They just sound very open and organic sounding. The details, there's micro details, clarity, instrument separation. The soundstage is decent. Overall, I found that the height and the depth of the soundstage were very, very good. They definitely have some pinpoint kind of accuracy. They don't get congested even on the busiest of tracks. So I thought that was very good. And I usually don't start at the soundstage, but might as well with this. And then, of course, we're going to move on to the bass. Now, the bass on the Kato has a little bit of emphasis there in the sub bass. It's very, very good. It does have a slow decay for sub bass, but the bass extension is just really, really good. There's a really nice kind of punch there. It doesn't overpower anything. There's good control there, but there's good detail and texture. We get into the mid bass. The mid bass has excellent texturing and timbre. It definitely has a tight, kind of more speedy kind of punch to it. It doesn't bleed very much, but there is some warmth in the lower mids. And let's get on to the mids. Mid-range on the Kato, the lower mid-range there's a little bit of a recession there in the mids themselves. Upper mids definitely have some brightness to them as well, especially with female vocals and when the volume's up. They can get spicy, but other than that, for the most part, they're very well-controlled mids. They definitely have vocals, and the mids themselves have very good body and texture. I didn't find them shouty at all, even at higher volumes. I suppose like on classical rock or something, maybe certain instruments, particularly like string instruments, that could probably get a little bit too much. I didn't hear that myself. especially with the equipment I've used. I used a lot of different, the V6, the AP80, the Pegasus SG1, the Griffin, and just a bunch of other different ones. We used a ton of equipment. I try to throw everything that I can at every, whether it's something that's like, a couple of bucks, like the, like the Warrior here, or something that's more expensive, like the Blessing or the Kato. I'm still going to test it the same. It doesn't matter. If it's Bluetooth, that's a different story. We don't test it as much because it's Bluetooth and it does have its limitations. So I found that vocals, definitely the mids in general, they had a little bit of warmth, a little bit of brightness on top, but they did sound rather good and rich and full-bodied. Moving on to the treble is fantastic on this. It has a really good kind of extension. There's micro details there. There's good sparkle and air in the treble, and it doesn't sound overly done. It doesn't overextend or anything else. Just over in general, I really did like that. And I compared this with a bunch of things, and the Sonic Memory 2, I like just a little bit better. It does some, Sonic Memory 2 is like an incredible IAM, even at any price. I mean, even if you're going up to like $400, I think that the Sonic Memory is just something amazing. It's just a one-of-a-kind kind of thing. And it's not perfect, but it does have its, it's the imperfections that give all these IAMs their character. I do like this. I would keep this in my favorites lineup. I did like this better than the Hannah that we tested. I don't have the Oxygen anymore, so I put it up against the Hannah, and I did like this far better than the Hannah. Overall, it just had much more energy and excitement to it. So it is kind of north of neutral. It is kind of borderline, kind of critical listening, but it's also fun sounding at the same time. And that's probably the big draw with this overall. And I think that I'll leave it there. That'll be my analogy with these. They're very good. I do like them. I like the accessories. I found them comfortable. You'll be hard-pressed even at $500 to find something that's built like this with this thick cable and these nice heavy IMs that aren't overly heavy. They just got that solid feel to them, like little nuggets. I like it. I really do like it. Like I said, it's open sounding. It's really kind of natural sounding. A lot of people I see have put organic. So I don't want to keep using that. It's natural sounding to me. It sounds right. It's good for a lot of different things. There can be, especially at higher volumes, depending on what equipment you're using. Yeah, it can get in a little bit harshness if you're listening to it at loud volumes. But at regular volumes with some decent equipment and a decent track, this thing is incredible. And it is actually my favorite Moondrop at this time out of the different Moondrops that I have. And I don't have them all, but out of the ones that I have, I like this. This would be my favorite one so far. There's a lot more to try out. That said, I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope that this video has been informative, and I want you to be safe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.